Everyone, this is still me, Ikoha Ediamara Virginia, still coming under the platform of Amiki's Love World, a platform that shares information and discuss day-to-day issues that affect the human life and how we can be able to better our lives. So today I am going to be discussing about a question that was thrown on one of the social media platforms, Facebook specifically. This question was someone asked the question. Someone said, "Is it proper for a 3 years old girl to beat with her daddy?" So this question brought in a lot of discussions. People trying to comment. So quickly, I will be talking about 1 to 5 comments that I saw on the platform, though I also contributed. Someone said that she doesn't see anything wrong with her 3 years old girl taking her bait with her daddy. Then another person said, why is it that women are not comfortable with their daughters taking baits with their dad? Is it that the women marry predators that they cannot trust? Some other person said it's not about the child or the daddy, that is about the woman's mindset. That why would she even be skeptical about why should her thoughts be skeptical about a child, a girl of 3 years taking bath with her dad? So why some people said they don't see anything wrong, also others said it is not good. One other person said if she doesn't feel comfortable, that she should trust her instinct. If she doesn't feel comfortable seeing her husband beating with her daughter, that she should walk up to him and discuss about it. So a lot of people threw in comments. A lot of people said it's nothing. If the man is a good man, some people said it's not good. Some people said it's all about the mindset and how they view it. So today I'm here to discuss about this. What I'm about to discuss is to sharing an idea, and I'll be giving you reasons why I feel the way why I actually view it in this point. So number one, if we want to generalize it, let's not talk about the gender aspect right now. Let's talk about the child being a child and an adult being an adult. Okay, now if you have a child that is young, there are things that a child should not be exposed to, irrespective of if the child is a male or a female. It doesn't matter. If, for instance, if you have a daughter or you have a son, right, there's supposed to be a certain boundary that should be between you and your son or your daughter. It doesn't matter if you are the mom or you are the dad. And why I'm saying this is, we as adults, the way we process information is quite different from the way a child processes information. A child is meant to grow stage by stage. There are some things that is not supposed to be exposed to a child at a certain level, and this is because he cannot comprehend it. Even as a mother, even if she's a girl child, it is not proper that your girl child sees your nakedness, specifically when you know she has started becoming wise enough to differentiate the male and the female sex. For instance, it's not because you are a woman and then you have a daughter, then you feel it's comfortable for you to be naked before your daughter that you know is like, let's say, 2 years old. Specifically, children that are 2 years old are wise enough to ask you questions like, "Mommy, what is this?" or "What is that?" It doesn't matter. Even if you feel you are female and she's female, the truth is there are some things she's not supposed to be exposed to at that level. Children are very, very inquisitive, and they will always want to ask questions, and they will always want you to provide them with answers that will fit in their reasoning at that very level. So I'm talking about this in a general platform. Let's look at it in a general platform. It doesn't matter whether is the father nor the mother. It doesn't matter whether the child is a male or a female. What matters is we are talking about children and adults, right? So now, talking about the main question, if a father is supposed to take bath with his 3 years old daughter, I tell you, 3 years old children are very wise enough, very, very wise enough to begin to practice what they even see you doing. So how can you justify, how can you look at it as something that is good for a 3 years old girl to be bathing with her father and seeing her father's nakedness? Of course, the father cannot deny the fact that the child has never ever asked him, what is this, or tried to touch his private parts. These places are very, very sensitive. We all know that. Even you as an adult, the moment you see a man coming, and then maybe let's say his zip is open, is one of the first things that you are going to notice. No matter how good the man's dressing looks, the first things you are going to notice is that, okay, this man's zip is opened. This is because there are things that are quite sensitive to our eyes. Our eyes want to see things, especially things that are meant to be private. The eyes always want to see it, and the moment there is something that is not normal at that very point, the eyes tend to catch it up immediately. So you can't deny that if you are bathing with a 3 years old child, even if you are a woman, you can't deny that if you are bathing with your 3 years old daughter, that she has never asked you, "Mommy, what is this?" Or she has never tried to touch your private part, or she has never tried to do what you are doing. For instance, you are trying to wash your private part and she sees you doing that. You can't deny that she has never tried to do that. So it is important that we set some boundaries between us. No matter how you love your child, you might be doing it out of love, right? For instance, the dad might be doing it out of love. He actually loves his daughter to the extent that he feels like bathing with her is also part of love. We all understand. The motive might be good, but I tell you, the result is going to be bad. Now, imagine your young girl. She's used to seeing your private parts. Let's say, for instance, you as the man now. She's used to seeing your private parts. I'm not trying to say that you mean harm to her. No. Or I'm not trying to say that maybe you're going to use your private part and play with her or something. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that she's used to seeing your private parts, for instance. The day, and then you have not been harming her, the day she's going to be exposed to another person's private part, because of course you can't be accountable for every single activity about your child, especially when the child starts getting exposed to other people. Getting exposed to other people can be going to school, attending other programs, that children are supposed to attend in your absence, because you can't tell me you will be in the school with the child. You can't tell me you will be 24 hours with your child at home. So if your daughter is used to seeing your private parts and she have never harmed her with it, believe me, if she gets exposed to another man's private parts, she would see it as harmless, and that would be the striking point for that person. She wouldn't even come back home to tell you, because she takes it as something that is normal. Maybe it's normal for one to see one's private parts. You see? So it's going to make her not to have this awareness of this is a private part that should be concealed or something like that. Now, for the woman as well, if you are bathing with your male child, for instance, he or she also knows that what you have or what he's seeing on you is not same as what he's seeing on him. So there would be questions, and he would want to know. Just like I told you, children are very, very inquisitive. So it is important that we don't expose children to our nakedness, specifically when they have gotten to that age when that they have started understanding things. They are beginning to see things. It might not be wrong for a father to bathe his children, but then I see it from my own view and from the things I've seen happening around. I see it as a very wrong thing for a father to bathe naked with his daughter, especially when she has started understanding things, or a father to bathe naked with his son, especially when the child has started understanding things. So get me right, you can beat your children, but it's not proper for you to bath together with your children when you know your children are already wise enough to detect things around. It's just like you having your child, your 3 years old child, in the same room with you. You never can tell what these children can do. You never can tell what they see, and then they tend to keep quiet. Children are people who see things, and they don't really know how to express it. So sometimes they see it, they interpret it within themselves and keep it to themselves. So you see, one of the reasons why it's very, very dangerous to expose things to a child without allowing the child to get to that level that he or she is supposed to be exposed to that. So on a normal, it's not good for you to expose your body to your child. I'm saying this even if your daughter is a grown-up, for instance. Let me talk about the women aspect now. Even if your daughter is a grown-up, it's not supposed that in the presence of your daughter you'll be taking your baths, naked, or wearing your clothes naked. It's not good that your daughter should be seeing your nakedness. It's not proper. If you are sick, it's a different thing. She can bathe you, things like that. But being naked is a very sensitive thing that can pass a whole lot of information to a whole lot of people. So for the lady that talked about, is it that women get married to predators that they don't trust? It's not really about that. It's about protecting the child now, not just about trying to make the man look like a perpetrator. It's all about protecting the interest of the child. It's all about protecting the way of reasoning of a child. Because if your 3 years old daughter gets to know that she sees her daddy's private parts, I tell you, in class, with her fellow students, she might be like, oh, I used to see my daddy's, something. She might tell her friends. And then she might even start exploiting other children's private part, because she doesn't see it as something bad. She doesn't see it as something weird. So there are things we need to educate our children on, and we must follow children according to their age while exposing them to things. So it's important that if you are a woman or you are a man, you should set boundaries between you and your children, no matter how you love them. There are some things that should be kept private between you and your kids. There are some things that really, really need to be kept private. And I want to emphasize on the aspect of gender now. When you look at the mother-father trend, you tend to see that women get too exposed to their male or female child. But the moment maybe the father is getting exposed to his female child, they begin to become uncomfortable. Now, the things you do will inform your husband also how to behave somehow. You can't be dating with your 3 years old son, and then if your husband is dating with his 3 years old daughter, then you begin to suspect, or you begin to look at him somehow. The thing about exploiting a child is that it doesn't have respect for gender. Anyone can be a perpetrator, just like anyone can be a victim. Of course, even mothers can be perpetrators to their own children, same as fathers. So, and again, to prevent unforeseen circumstances, what I mean by unforeseen circumstances is this. There are some things that you shouldn't even attempt to do, so not to provoke some things from happening. Sometimes you never can tell the kind of human being you are until you've been exposed to a certain level of experience. What I mean by this is, the moment you keep dating with your daughter, you never can tell what will happen tomorrow or next. You never can tell what will happen tomorrow or next. So it's very, very important that before that mindset begins to come in, before any demon tries to begin to use the activity that you do to try to get to you, it's important that we cut off things that has links with those things. So I don't know your take on this, but I would also appreciate it if we could discuss this more. If you could provide your comments, talk about what you feel, share experiences, because this is all about us finding ways to promote our society, finding ways to build our families, because family is the smallest unit and everybody belongs to a family. This is one of the avenues that we can use to build ourselves as individuals and as family people, because if all families gets it right, then the community will get it right, then the society will get it right, then our world will be a better place. So please, let's look at some of those little issues and take it very serious, you know. So I will be looking up to you for your comments. Let's discuss this and have a better idea or better reasons why we should educate others on the need to set boundaries between them and their children. So I am still Iko Heidi Amara Virginia. I love you guys, and I will be interacting with you on the comment section. Thank you.